It's been another roller coaster ride and the end of an era for Middlesbrough Football Club. Brian Robson ended his 7-year reign as manager after his former England boss Terry Venables came to the rescue and kept Boro in the Premiership. Boro were heading towards rock bottom and crashing out of the top flight when Venables answered Boro's SOS in December. But Boro embarked on a brilliant 12-match unbeaten run that restored a new wave of confidence at the Riverside, and Teesside Tell emerged triumphant when Boro completed a great escape in a nail-biting final countdown. The players signed by Robson came through in the end, but it needed that special magic from Venables to get the formula right. Coming up, the highlights, the goals and the drama. But first, let's hear from Boro's saviour.
Terry, with such a high standing in the game, with success at Spurs, Barcelona, England, etc., did you fear the risk of failure at Boro could tarnish your reputation?
No, people will think what they think. If they want it tarnished, it will be tarnished, and if they don't want to, they won't. And only when certain things happen to you, you feel it's tarnished. I know, I mean, I see sometimes people write my CV and you think to yourself, well, they obviously don't want to put the whole thing in because it doesn't suit them. But all I would say, I've never turned away from anything for the sake of losing, otherwise you'd never do anything. It wasn't a case of being frightened of failing, it was a case of once you think all the things through, once you know a bit about the situation, once you've seen the videos, once you know what the club's trying to achieve, you then make a decision and then you go full pelt. One thing only in your mind is every day, every hour, most likely, even if you're at home, you're still thinking about the job. You're thinking how you can improve it. You're questioning yourself, questioning everything.
Having achieved your goal here, how does that rate on the old CV?
This very highly. I'm thrilled for everybody at the club and around the club.
A lot of people doubted the way the partnership with Brian Robson would work out. Did it turn out the way you expected?
I never had any doubt about that. I mean, we've worked together before, and I was the manager and he was the coach. We just reversed the roles, that's all. and he's a great guy, Brian, and he's had a tough time. I mean, you don't have 6 years at any football club without having tough times. Nobody. I mean, Alec Ferguson had tough times when he started for a long while, and Brian's still a young guy. We don't know what's ahead for him yet.
It looks like you've enjoyed your time here at Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I have. It's been really lovely, and I do appreciate and like to thank everybody for receiving me in the way they have done.
The season began at Highfield Road, where Boro had 3 new signings in the starting lineup. Alan Boksic, the Croatian striker with a World Cup pedigree, was a new star man up front. Cameroon international Joseph Desiree Job joined a new-look strike force. And flamboyant Frenchman Christian Carambeau was a new man in midfield.
Here's Joe. Out by Colin Hendry. Cheapo, that's a poor back pass by Cheapo. Here's Job. This is Brian Dean. Oh, he's hit the crossbar and headed over under pressure by Colin Hendry. What a good opportunity for Middlesbrough to open the scoring. A wretched back pass by Cheapo. Coventry with the free kick. Cooper tangling in the penalty area with Bellamy. Oh, that's poor. Oh, Hendry goes down. Coventry appeal for penalty. Not given. Challenge on Carambeau will bring a free kick, and Barry Knight, the referee, soundly booed by the Coventry supporters. Here's Boksic, showing good strength. And a decent cross. Job! Middlesbrough have scored, and one of the debutants has got the opening goal. The perfect cross from the Croatian international. And what a dream start for Middlesbrough. 20 minutes gone, leading 1-0. Here's Boksic. Oh, it's 2! No! Referee Barry Knight has ruled free kick. Now, why was that disallowed? It looked a perfectly good goal. Another moment of controversy. Brian Robson will ponder. Thompson will take the free kick for Coventry. Colin Hendry's come forward. Eustace! It's 1-1. Poor marking by Middlesbrough, gifting Coventry their equaliser. Some of the tacklings becoming very fierce. Carambeau stealing possession. A clutch of Coventry players around him. Carambeau. Play waved on. Here's Ince. Oh, that was reckless by Breen. Ince being pulled away from his response to the challenge, which will sorely bring a caution. Boksic, saved by Hedman. Boksic, he scored. He is on the score sheet at last, after the initial effort had been saved by Hedman with his legs. And Middlesbrough have restored their lead. Oh, sharp challenge there by Gary Pallister, motoring forward. Here's Boksic! It's 3 to Middlesbrough, but what a great contribution by the central defender Gary Pallister. A perfect pass to Boksic to register his second goal. And Middlesbrough will now introduce another new face, that of Paul Oaken, the Australian international captain, who comes on to replace Jobe, who's warmly received by Viv Anderson and Gordon McQueen. This is Brian Dean to Ocon. Misses out Paul Ince. Here's Carambeau. Here's Noel Whelan. He's got Dean in the middle. Oh! Noel Whelan putting his effort wide of the far post. And what's already a perfect opening day to the season for Middlesbrough could have been even better. Well, it's the start of a new campaign, and Brian Robson's team have recorded an impressive away win, 3-1 at Coventry, to the delight of their travelling supporters.
With skipper Paul Ince injured, Mark Somerville started the season's first home match. Alan Boksic also missed the showdown with Spurs, leaving Joseph Desiree Jobe to lead the attack. And the Cameroon striker made a lively start.
Cleared by Chris Perry, but only as far as Curtis Fleming. This is Hamilton Ricard, marked by Leonardson. Dean, back to Jobe. That was an easy save for Neil Sullivan, but it's only taken Middlesbrough a minute to register their first effort. After the winning start away at Coventry, expectation at the Riverside is high. Pallister, Vickers, Dean. Here's Jobe. He's made an opening for himself here. Left foot. Oh, saved by Sullivan with his legs. And it took a deflection off the Tottenham defender, Chris Perry. Neil Sullivan was very fortunate. It's a lively start by the Cameroon international. Tottenham's goal under pressure. Everson, forward for Stephen Carr, marked by Brian Dean. Anderton wants it. Oh, Dean's let Carr get behind him. Here's the Tottenham fullback. Off the line by Paul Oaken. A timely header by the Australian. Vickers. Here's Anderton for Tottenham. Everson. This is Rebrov, the £11 million Ukrainian. Decent cross. Oh, that's a good header from Leonardson, and Tottenham have taken the lead. What a good cross by the new signing from the Ukraine. And the visitors lead 1-0. Stephen Carr with the throw. Carambeau who won the header. Here's Brian Dean battling as always. Somerville strongly in on the challenge with Sol Campbell. That's picked off by O'Neill. Here's Dean! Oh! O'Neill tried to pick out a target in front of him, couldn't find one. Here's Job. Carambeau. He's got Curtis Fleming wide right. Here's Fleming. That's well delivered. Oh, it's a great header! And Somerville has equalised. It's a first league goal for Mark Somerville. And didn't he attack the cross with relish? Perfectly delivered by Fleming. And Middlesbrough are level on the hour. It's 1-1.
At home to Leeds, Boro made a promising start, but failed to make it count.
Carambeau heads it back. Now, is there an offside here? Apparently not. Rickard, thwarted by the goalkeeper. Dean! 3 men on the line. This is definitely a 4-3-3 formation that David O'Leary sent out today. And here's Bowyer coming from midfield and scoring! What a well-taken goal! Bridges just muscled out of it there, but here's Dacour. And still. And a deflection and a second goal. Pallister beaten to it. O'Neill's in the thick of that. And the shot from Ocon. But no. Whelan is on the near side here. That's where it's going. He gets the header in. Job. Away by Dewberry. Ocon. Jones. And back with Ocon again for Middlesbrough. Has a chance here. It's Paul Ince. And Job. No, and Dean maybe now. He returns it into the middle, and there's the header, and off the line. Paul Ince again involved. Ince is twice involved here. There's the first attempt. That's blocked by Radebe. Now as it goes out to Brian Dean, keep an eye on number 2, Gary Kelly, because when Ince has this header, goalkeeper makes a fine save, but Kelly is there to kick it clear. And there may be a chance here. Pallister's gone forward. So too has Vickers. Dean is in the thick of it. Vickers comes in. Oh, it's a real chance. Stamp's shot was deflected, but it's a goal. Middlesbrough get one back. Whelan takes the free kick. The header down. The shot by Stamp. It goes in off Michael Dewberry, I think. Leeds would do well to just tighten their game up a little bit now. Had it all their own way for a long time. This is Kelly. Viduka is waiting here. So was Smith. That's Jones. Good save, Swanson. This is Ince. Now Cooper has linked up quite well with Whelan on this side. Job makes a forward run. Dean to his right. That's Job. And it's Dean! Oh, and scrambled away by Michael Dewberry. Brian Dean searching for the equaliser, and they weren't far away here, Middlesbrough. Job made the early run, goalkeeper didn't hold the ball, and as Dean swivelled, Dewberry got it away.
3 days later came the sad news of the death of Willie Madron, one of the club's greatest ever players. A loyal servant of the club both as player and manager, Madron had fought a long and courageous battle with motor neurone disease. Fans will remember him best as a popular member of the successful 70s team built by Jack Charlton. At Pride Park, it was Boro's turn to make all the running, and Robbo's men raced ahead when Alan Boksic won a penalty.
Rob Stiles had no hesitation in giving a penalty. Right on the line. Boksic with a chance to put Middlesbrough ahead, which he takes. play. Karamba. Job ahead of him. Boksic waits by the D. Making his run. Poom didn't get hold of it. And it's 2-0. And the Cameroon international has scored his second goal for Middlesbrough. Good running by Boksic. Poom couldn't get hold of it. Job was in the right place at the right time. Almost had too much time, so too much time to think, and now he has to chase hard because Stamp's away here. Good chance for Brian Deane! 3-0! And Derby County's defence torn apart again. Phil Stamp with the ball in. Look at the space for Brian Deane. Kinkladze, man who can improvise. Created some space there for Johnson. And Derby County score with Malcolm Christie. Deane, Ince. And Phil Stamp stays down on the floor. Burton for Derby County. Christie waits in the middle. Gavin is there again. And tempers are a little frayed. Dean Sturridge in the middle of it. The problem there was that the ball wasn't returned after the throw-in. Phil Stamp was injured. Paul Ince is making that point to the referee now. Anyway, Derby have got a corner. And would you believe it? They've scored from it! Branko Strupar continues his run of scoring in every match this season. And suddenly it's a whole new ball game. Schwarzer decides to head back towards his line. Johnson goes up well. Christie's there! Amazing! Derby look dead and buried.
The home game with Everton marked the Riverside return of Paul Gascoigne, a match preceded by a minute's silence for Willie Madron. After starting the stronger of the two sides, Boro were handed an early lead when Alan Boksic made a run down the right with only 6 minutes on the clock. Steve Watson was under no real pressure, but the former Newcastle defender turned the ball into his own net. Paul Gerrard in the Everton goal didn't have a chance. Mark Schwarzer, meanwhile, was in good form in the first half, and he did well to stop Francis Jeffers when Everton were waved on with Boro claiming offside. Boro came close to adding to their first half lead when Paul Ince was denied by a super stop from Gerrard. Job failed to hit the target on the follow-up, but it was a sweet strike by the Boro skipper. Boro were looking good, and they had another golden opportunity before half-time, when Phil Stamp won the ball in a midfield tussle that opened up a chance for Boksic. But this time the Croatian dragged his finish wide of the far post. Those misses proved costly when Everton made Boro pay after the break. First came the equaliser served up by Thomas Gravesen. His long ball fell to Francis Jeffers, and it was a measured finish to make it 1-1. The winner came 3 minutes from time, and it started with a mistake, when Boro gave the ball away expecting the referee to stop play for a foul on Karamba. It was a fatal moment of hesitation. Another long ball stretched Boro's defence, and Jeffers stole in behind the back line. Gavin cleared the first shot off the line, but the Everton striker followed up to claim his 5th goal of the season. At Main Road, Brian Robson made no fewer than 7 changes to the side that started the home defeat by Everton 8 days earlier. With Mark Schwarzer injured, Gary Walsh was recruited on loan to solve Boro's keeper crisis, and he had to wait until the final minute of the first half to make his first save of the game.
One shot. Well, he had to go it alone. He's quite capable of that. Terry Walsh making sure he got plenty of body behind the shot. Fester forward, Gavin forward. Campbell to take the corner. Oh, and a terrific header by Gianluca Fester. And Middlesbrough, who've been satisfied pretty much up to this point with containing Manchester City, have scored the first goal today at Main Road. So Manchester City nearer to that Middlesbrough penalty area. Gavin climbing above Howie, and goes Tiato. One chop, out comes the goalkeeper, but one shot sticks out a foot, and Manchester City are level. Well, we have the encroachment situation, and from the subsequent free kick, they've got what they've been looking for. Oh! Goalkeeper crossbar after Weir's header. Whitley, too strong for Campbell. Oh, it's hit the frame of the goal. Haaland following it up. Another body doing the block. It was Gavin.
Well, does the goalkeeper get anything on this, or does he get it on the way back? Oh, what a good touch, Gary Walsh.
18-year-old midfielder Stuart Palmerby made his debut, along with 20-year-old keeper Chris Benyon, as a wet and sparsely populated Riverside in the Worthington Cup. Former Boro striker Peter Davenport returned to Teesside with 3rd Division Macclesfield, and the Minnows gave Boro a real scare when they took the lead in the 59th minute.
We'll look up the line. Barker picks that one out, and here's John Askey. Askey inside, Sedgemore, first time ball in, looking for Barker, and Barker got on the end of it inside the 6-yard box, and Macclesfield from Division 3 have taken the lead against Premiership Middlesbrough.
That was the cue for Alan Boksic to come off the bench, but Boro still had to wait until 3 minutes from the end before the Croatian made his mark.
Good work, Keith O'Neill, he kept it in. Joseph Job challenged on the 6-yard line. Still going, Boro, still going. Boksic tries the curler. Alan Boksic underside of the bar. Was it in? It is now. Noel Whelan's first goal for Middlesbrough. Still time for a winner. Still time. Down for O'Neill. O'Neill will get there. Keith O'Neill. That's a useful ball in low. Half away. Summerbell. Goal!
A slender first leg lead to take to Macclesfield. Boro had finally landed their first home win of the season. Boksic was in from the start against Villa and came close to giving Boro the lead midway through the first half with a curling free kick. Villa were denied before the break by Gary Walsh when Steve Stone served up across for Dion Dublin. A brave double save keeping Villa at bay. Villa threatened after the break and Dublin fired a warning when he met Lee Hendry's cross with a header that came back off the crossbar. It was Dublin who finally broke Boro's resistance when he closed down a back pass by Colin Cooper. Walsh was caught in possession and Dublin teed up Julian Joachim, who found the empty net, 1-0 to Villa. Boro almost hit back just 90 seconds later. Paul Ince had James in trouble with a back header, and Boksic lifted the ball over the top, only to be denied by Stone on the goal line. Paul Merson was having a quiet game until he brought the best out of Walsh after a weaving run and well-struck shot inside the box. Walsh was again the Boro hero 2 minutes later, this time keeping out a full-blooded drive from Dublin. Again, Boksic went close on the counter-attack. He thought he'd found the target, only to see his shot drift agonisingly wide. But Boro came on strong in the final stages. when sub Carlos Marinelli started to weave his magic. Mark Somerville was kept out by a super save from James at the end of a move started by the Argentinian winger. And Marinelli finally set the decisive move in motion when he found Paul Ince in the 89th minute. The Boro skipper was in luck when his hopeful cross was turned into his own net by Villa defender Alpay Ozalan. In the return leg at Macclesfield, Hamilton Rickard finally got his season's account underway. Just 18 minutes gone when Rickard made it 3-1 on aggregate. Macclesfield did pull a goal back when Ben Sedgemore converted a penalty just before half-time. But it was Rickard's night. He claimed his second early in the second half and then completed his hat-trick 2 minutes later. A surging run by Campbell, Rickard applied the finish. Boro were through to round 3. Boro arrived at the Dell on the day Glenn Hoddle signed a new contract. But it was a return of Alan Boksic that proved decisive on this occasion.
Southampton are chasing a fifth successive win. And they've made a lively start. Rossler just came off the top of his forehead. It's Carambeau. Rossler with the early threat. This is Boksic. Comes inside the defender and another. Boksic! Oh, that's brilliantly done by the Croatian. He just had too much pace for them to deal with. And it's a clinical finish and another very important goal for Middlesbrough. Carambeau. The Frenchman keeping possession. Boksic wriggling through. Musto! Oh, he's dragged it wide. Robbie Musto with a chance to increase Middlesbrough's lead. Ince marking Rossler. Carambeau with the corner. This is O'Neill. Aimed at Rickard. Oh, here's Fester! Yes! Middlesbrough lead 2-0. Southampton point to a tangle of bodies in front of Gianluca Festa, but the goal is given. Half an hour gone. Middlesbrough ahead by 2-0. Southampton with the free kick. Richards! Oh, that's a great save by Gary Walsh. That was loose. Here's Boksic. Got the Southampton defenders backpedaling again. Oh, it's a great header by Rickard and another good save by Jones. O'Neill. Rickard must have thought he'd scored. And time running out now for Southampton. Letitia. Space here, perhaps for a decent cross. Headed back by Beattie. Pahars! Southampton have got a goal back. O'Neill. Saved by Jones. Boksic! Oh, didn't he react quickly? It's 3-1 to Middlesbrough, courtesy of the lightning-fast reactions of Alan Boksic.
Victory at the Dell put Boro in mid-table, just 6 points behind early pacesetters Leicester City. But it all started to go wrong for Brian Robson's men in October, starting with the home encounter with Newcastle.
This is Dyer. Solano, first time ball. Shearer's there, so is Gary Speed. Here's Shearer! He's got an injury. Shearer getting up high. Crossley just beaten to it. But not that time. Lovely ball by Musto. Oh. Well, it's the best chance he's had. Has got a chance here, lays it on instead for Dyer. Newcastle's victory is complete now. 3-0. Here's Boxic. A little back healer for Marinelli. 2 in the box. And it's scrambled in.
Brian Dean's last-minute reply, little consolation for the Boro. Brian Robson's response was to complete the signing of Hugo Ekiog, the England defender costing a club record £8 million. Ekiog wasn't destined for a happy start to his Boro career. Robbo's new recruits made his debut at the Valley and lasted just 5 minutes. With Ekiog clearly in distress after twisting awkwardly off the ball, there was no question of the big defender playing on. A painful ankle meant a slow exit, and frustration all round as Boro's huge investment left the field. It was a day when nothing went right for the Boro. A good break down the left by Andy Campbell had Charlton at full stretch, but the move ended with a header from Paul Ince that bounced agonisingly wide. That was as close as Boro came to getting on the score sheet, and the home side made the decisive breakthrough midway through the second half. Matt Svensson claiming all 3 points with the only goal of the game. It was the first away defeat of the season, but the losing run continued at Portman Road against a newly promoted side taking the Premiership by surprise.
They've brought a save from Richard Wright, who had to react quickly then. And Mark Somerville with the best opportunity so far for Middlesbrough. Cross in by Brian Dean. It was a solid header, and it was an equally good save by Richard Wright. Jilton. Holland again is the player who's broken through, and there's a chance here for Naylor. Richard Naylor gives Ipswich Town the lead. Venus will go for power. Jilton or Jermaine Wright might also be prepared to have a go. Here's Venus, and that's 2-0 to Ipswich Town. Thumping free kick from Mark Venus. Whelan has won the free kick. Whelan able to wriggle away from Wright, and then Whelan, Gordon and Karambo are the 3 over this free kick. Cooper might also be prepared to have a go. And it was deflected past Richard Wright and into the net. Gordon it was who took it. Suddenly, Middlesbrough have a bit of hope.
In round 3 of the Worthington Cup, Boro were denied by an outstanding performance by goalkeeper Davis. Boro's second half substitute Neil Maddison brought the best out of the Dons keeper with a superbly struck free kick. Boro had performed well, but their bad luck continued when they were undone by a hotly disputed penalty decision just 5 minutes from time. Curtis Fleming was adjudged to have handled by referee Graham Poll. It was a tight decision, but the verdict allowed John Hartson to step up and claim the winner. Wimbledon were through to round 4. That made it 4 defeats in a row, and Brian Robson knew the pressure was on, with Arsenal and Man United the next teams to face at the start of November.
Whelan to take. Alistair. Put away by Lee Dixon. 4 bricks in the Arsenal wall. This is Stamp and Lukic. Oh, nothing slightly. The handling was not as clean and as safe as he would have liked. Whelan. Adams struggling to get there. Well, this is good stuff from Middlesbrough. The header came from Phil Stamp. The tone of the performance is just what Brian Robson will be looking for. What he needs to cap it with, and what they need to cap it with, is a goal or two.
Borough's good start counted for nothing when it all went wrong midway through the first half.
Oh, Vickers let it run, and a clear chance for Ljungberg, brought down by Crossley. And Middlesbrough, who've already fielded 4 goalkeepers this season, now have to field a 5th. Had Ljungberg been allowed to go on, then surely he would have had a clear shot on goal. And Beresford's first act will be to retrieve the ball from the back of the net.
Down to 10 men, Boro did well to stop Arsenal adding to that goal. Beresford taking his chance to impress with a string of outstanding saves.
Keown and Adams denied a second time by Marlon Beresford.
At Old Trafford, Mark Sforza was back in goal, returning from 2 months out with injury, and was promptly called into action by the champions.
What a charge this is now from Keane. Dwight York waiting to receive. York! Splendid save from Sforza. Manchester United nil, Middlesbrough nil, with half an hour played, but here's Christian Carambeau, and he's going to get it back here. What a chance for Carambeau! And Middlesbrough stun Old Trafford. Christian Carambeau. The shake of the head from Sir Alex, and no wonder. It's actually the first goal that Barthez has conceded in the Premiership here. His first goal for Middlesbrough, and what a stage on which to score it. He did it 2 years ago, but he knows there's a long way to go yet.
And so it turned out as United stormed back with 2 second-half goals.
York. Beckham slipping it through to Keane, and Nicky Butt equalises for Manchester United. Beckham has taken the corner quickly to Roy Keane. Nicky Butt. Phil Neville's cross. Dwight York. It was blocked, but guess who was there? Teddy Sheringham. Manchester United have turned it round.
Robbo's frustration continued at home to Leicester City. Boro got off to a bad start in the opening minutes, when Dean Gordon's challenge on Muzzy Izzet conceded a penalty. The Turkish international picked himself up and made no mistake from the spot. After that, the nightmare simply got worse, and Boro found themselves 2-0 down inside 13 minutes. Neil Lennon, the creator, and Trevor Benjamin did the rest. Boro went close when Christian Carambeau's free kick was headed wide by Brian Dean. And Alan Boksic was just off target at the start of the second half. But the game slipped beyond Boro's reach when Leicester made it 3-0. Adi Akimbayi was given time and space, and Darren Eadie applied the finish. Boro have never scored against Leicester at the Riverside, and they were denied a game when Boksic beat substitute goalkeeper Simon Royce, but the ball came back off the woodwork. With 8 defeats on the spin, a result against rivals for survival Bradford was essential. But Boro soon had another mountain to climb against a side revitalised by new boss Jim Jeffries.
And that is a very comfortable opening goal for Dean Windass. Dreadful start. Well, Brian Robson and Viv Anderson have been talking about stupid mistakes. That was certainly another. Good strike. Well saved. At 4 as the free kick is taken, and 3 up for Bradford. And that's well taken, and that's well struck, and that is a beautiful goal by Benito Carbone. It's Fleming. Stamper. Oh, little flick on. Boxic needs to sink it. Does. No, side netting. 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left in the first period. The difference a goal would make to the atmosphere. Boxic off the crossbar. Well, you have to have sympathy for him. Dean trying to find some room in the middle. This is he. Two went with him at the expense of a corner. But the crowd encouraged by the start and encouraging their team. Which comes first is a point of debate. Festa, more than anyone, would like to get his head somewhere near the ball. Clark Dens! And Ugo Ekiog makes it 2-1. And Middlesbrough have the proverbial lifeline. The goalkeeper will be very disappointed. Name being chanted briefly by the crowd. So willing things to change. That's difficult. Oh, and that's unlucky again. It's by Festa. It's a really, really good corner. Post on the far post, and the kicker suddenly realised there was a problem. But with better fortune, Festa would have made it 2-2. Marinelli showed a lot of skill and determination, and a good deal of heart too. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Marinelli quite calm about it. Referee calling the transgressors, and he shows the red card to Marinelli. Into the last 5 minutes. And Dean, good stop. Ince, and it goes through. The captain has saved today, but Bradford clearly thought there was a handball there. Referee runs away. And Paul Ince fires the ball straight through Matt Clark. Oh, that's a reprieve in my book. And I think Mr. Gibson, whose view is far more important, would take the same attitude. But there was an appeal for a handball immediately from Stuart McCall. But Ince went on, and it went straight through Matt Clark's legs.
Brown Robson spared the embarrassment of losing at home to Bradford. But the pressure continued at Upton Park, amid speculation linking Boro with Terry Venables. Boxic, Campbell and Rickard were all out injured, leaving Dean and Whelan the men up front. But it was the Hammers hitman Paolo Di Canio who proved the match winner. The Italian condemned Boro to defeat with a flash of brilliance 3 minutes before half-time. It was the only goal of the game. Boro ended with 10 men. Hugo Ekiog, already on a yellow card, was sent off late in the second half for a foul on Di Canio. Defeat left Boro firmly in the relegation zone. It was time to unveil the survival plan. Terry Venables had agreed to take charge as head coach. Brown Robson retained the title of team manager. It was a dream ticket for chairman Steve Gibson. Boro's destiny was now in the hands of the former England management duo that worked so well during Euro '96.
His reputation as a coach is well known, and I think he brings something to our club that we've not perhaps had in the immediate past. So I see it as a big step forward for our football club. We all know what the challenge is, but we're going to cherish that challenge. We're up for it.
I think the first priority, I think both Steve and Brian, was to say, well, let's see if we can sort our position out now. I don't know whether I can or help with that and be one of the components going towards it, but we're going to give it a real good shot.
I feel that it worked very well when I worked with Terry with England, and I just feel that if it was good enough for England, then I want what's best for this football club. And I've said that all along. Any decisions I ever make will be for the benefit of this football club. And I think at this moment in time, this is the best we can do for Middlesbrough Football Club.
By the time the team bus arrived at Sunderland Stadium of Light, there had been little opportunity for Terry Venables to spend much time with the players. So it was Brian Robson who selected the team, Venables starting off in a back seat role. You could sense the players were pleased with the new management team.
And Ricard! No, push, not going to stand. Referee sees a push.
The replay suggested Boro were hard done by. There didn't appear to be much wrong with Ricard's effort. It was a day when nothing went right for the Boro.
That's well played by Fleming. How nice to see somebody having the moment at least to try and make an opening. Good battling there by Ricard. And still Ricard! Just got a touch, did Sorensen. And an important touch it was. Arca. Great. Arca. Blocked by Ehiog, in comes Gray!
The home match with Chelsea was the first real test for the new head coach. There'd been no time to prepare for the Sunderland game, but a week later it was time to see what the Venables' effect would be. With 11 players ruled out by injury or suspension, Tell's first-team selection was not a difficult one. With Alan Boksic still injured, Brian Deane and Noel Whelan once again led the attack.
Forward by Vickers. That's a great ball. Oh! Keith O'Neill with the first glimpse of Chelsea's goal. Here's Fester. Mustoe. Brian Deane takes up a good position. Good ball in. It's loose. Terry Venables getting back into the role. Hands-on football management. Well, Middlesbrough will make a substitution. It will be Paul Oaken, who will be replaced by number 3, Dean Gordon. Vickers to Fester. Here's Ince. Mustoe. Boro having to work it backwards to come forwards again. Whelan. Into the path of Dean Gordon. It's deflected. Oh, yes! The substitute just on. Dean Gordon with a deflected left foot shot. A large slice of luck. But Boro don't mind about that. Teed up by Noel Whelan. And it hit Melchiot. An inspired substitution by Terry Venables. And now there's new instructions. Let's keep what we have. Dean, goal side of Leboeuf. Oh, brought down by the Frenchman. It'll be a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. O'Neill will take it. Ooh, when he got it through a crowd of players, but straight into the midriff of Ed Dohoy. Oh, Terry Venables knows all about the nervous excitement of football, and it's a winning start, and you can't ask more than that, particularly with the depleted squad that Venables had to choose from for this game. Dean Gordon with the only goal, courtesy of a deflection, but it's 3 valuable points. And the supporters at the Riverside this afternoon believe it's the start of a revival.
Well, Terry, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did at the final whistle. Yeah, the rest of it was a bit hard.
You sound a bit throaty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not used to it. It's gone. It's going to do the singing up as well.
I don't think anybody could doubt your commitment to the cause, having seen the way you were in particularly the second half when you spent most of it down on the touchline.
Yeah, well, it was getting a bit frantic, and you know, we did particularly well, I thought, during the game, with things that may be slightly different. And the trouble is, when you get a bit under pressure, you revert to type sort of thing, you know. And we just have to keep reminding what we've got to do. And I thought we fought very hard. We played some good passing at times, and it's great to get a win. That's the main thing.
He's second to none in coaching, and he just probably put out a few points on the pitch that we worked on all this week, and just made us all feel confident about ourselves. And the main point was to say, don't play with no fear. Don't worry. You know what I mean? If you lose the ball. Play with no fear. And I think the last 2 weeks we've done that.
He's just concentrated on the basics. You know, just not conceding goal first thing, and really creating opportunities going forward, because in the last few games we've been a bit limited going forward and creating chances. So he's just been concentrating on that, and looks like things are starting to bear fruit.
The next challenge came against Terry Venables' former club Spurs. The new management team were boosted by the return of Alan Boksic, but this was a game of few chances, and Mark Schwarzer had to be at his best when he made an acrobatic stop from Steve Sherwood. Schwarzer was almost punished early in the second half when he was put under pressure by Vickers' back pass, and Sergei Rebrov's effort was deflected onto the woodwork. But Boksic went close to stealing the points when he found space and sent a flashing drive inches wide. A hard-earned point made it 4 points out of 6, and the revival gathered pace against Liverpool on Boxing Day.
Fleming on the right-hand side. Karrenberg. Good ball forward, and Whelan's onside inside the penalty area and tries a shot first time, but no real test for Westerveld in the end, who got down well to save, but an early flicker of a warning there from Middlesbrough. Here's Ocon once more. Karrenberg, chance to run and tries to shoot. He actually hit his own man, but gets a second chance. Here's Boksic, back to Karrenberg. Karrenberg surely plays it wide. Here comes a shot, and Boksic is offside. He was offside anyway. This is Biscan. Long-legged, strides towards the edge of the penalty area. Good ball for Barnby. Fleming's across there. Here's Heskey. Heskey with a shot. Oh, my word. And the anticipation once more grows, but once more he's immediately thwarted. Oh, that's a nice ball. Here's Whelan. Inside the penalty area, Karrenberg tries to tee it up, couldn't. It's Fleming, left-footed. Oh, it's a save, and Karrenberg will put it in. Christian Karrenberg's. Well, Whelan's cross found Karrenberg initially. He just wanted to tee it up, couldn't get the shot in. Instead, it was Fleming who hit it superbly well. Westerveld couldn't hold. Karrenberg makes sure. Well, the Middlesbrough substitution shouldn't pass without comment. Mark Hudson, the 20-year-old, comes on for his first taste of Middlesbrough action, and Christian Karrenberg, the scorer of the game's only goal so far, is the man to go off. Big moment for the young Middlesbrough midfielder. Lester's going to have a try himself here. Well, that wasn't a bad effort. Headed back by Heskey. More fun for Gerrard, and eventually the chance is saved. What a finish. And that's it. That's it. Middlesbrough have their second home win of the season and their second home win under Terry Venables, and just as significantly now, it's 2 home games without conceding a goal. Their climb from the bottom of the Premiership seems to have started at last. Liverpool are beaten.
I think everyone's very, very pleased. The spirit in the camp is a good one. They're fighting right to the last minute, and they've worked their socks off today to get a result.
For me, he's the best. You know, when the England job came out, you know, I was one of the first people, you know, to jump out at my seat and say, you know, this is the man. You know, just get us back on track. Obviously, the FA didn't, you know, go with that, but you know, I was more than happy at the fact that he decided to come to Middlesbrough. That was a bit touch and go whether he was going to come or not, but I'm glad that he's here, and you know, we're all glad that he's here because it's where things are working out for us.
2 wins and 1 draw in the 3 games since Terry Venables became Brian Robson's head coach. Much satisfaction at that 1-0 defeat of Liverpool on Boxing Day. Knocked forward by Carambeau. Here's Ricard, back to Carambeau, watched by Breen. Shots deflected. Here's Noel Whelan, an open goal! Oh, off the line by Telfer. Back in by Whelan, cleared by Coventry's defence. And the birthday boy, 26 years of age today, Noel Whelan, with a great chance to open the scoring. Middlesbrough won 3-1 at Coventry on the opening day of the season, but the visitors are performing pretty well here. And that's a corner. Ince marking Breen. Schwarzer doesn't get it. Oh, Whelan! It's an own goal by Noel Whelan. What a calamity. Schwarzer had come off his line, dived, didn't get the ball. Oh, problems for Venables. Carambeau, Fleming. A chance here, Whelan! Oh! Kirkland waves away. Middlesbrough claims for a penalty and the referee agrees with him. Coventry continuing to perform pretty well. Here's Bellamy in on Schwarzer, saves with his feet. Paulins to Boksic, whose first touch was excellent. Boksic trying to chip it into the top corner. Well, his touch and control has to be admired. Playing today despite a heavy cold, which saw him begin the game on the bench. Middlesbrough with the free kick. Could well be Keith O'Neill who'll strike this. Fully 25 yards from goal. O'Neill! Oh, fabulous free kick by O'Neill, and an excellent one-handed save from young Chris Kirkland. He couldn't have struck that any sweeter. Terry Venables getting instructions across. Here's Brian Dean. Ricard. That's an excellent ball from Ricard. Here's Boksic. Yes! It's 1-1 and it's no more than Middlesbrough deserve. What an excellent pass from Ricard to split the Coventry defence. And Boksic doesn't miss from there. Well, that's warmed them up.
Failure to beat Coventry left Boro in the relegation zone at the turn of the year. 1 point behind the men from Highfield Road and level with Man City. Boro had made great progress since the arrival of Terry Venables, but it was clear the fight for survival was going to make it a nail-biting second half of the season. Next up was Elland Road to face a Leeds side, surprisingly just 4 places above the Boro.
Keane. Viduka. Keane continued to run beyond the Australian, who lost possession of the ball. Oh, through the centre goes Boksic. He's onside. First chance of the game. Oh, magnificently taken. They've not had a shot on goal. They have now, though. Dakor. Keane left it. Dakor was facing goal. Viduka. Howell peels for handball. Penalty. Curtis Fleming. Looked a little harsh, I felt. And it's Robbie Keane who scores.
We're disappointed we didn't win the game. We felt it was not a penalty, and otherwise, I have to say that, otherwise there's no point in me coming here and just saying, oh yeah, it's fine. You know, it was a deflection, it hit his knee and jumped up to his hand. I just find it amazing.
The FA Cup trail began with a third-round tie at Valley Parade against Bradford City. Brown Robson looked more relaxed in the knowledge that Boro were now unbeaten in 5 matches. In the opposition goal was former Boro keeper Gary Walsh.
Boksic, lovely ball, and a very brave header away. Everton still there, but they dallied a little bit too long on the ball there, Bradford. Boksic punishing them. Fleming's cross, a decent one to the far post. Well, it was an unexpected header. Everton has also stolen forward for this one to the near post area, leaving a free run for Molinar. Well, how unlucky. Ocon. Ince. Ricard one side of him, and it's a beautiful ball. And Boksic is unmarked on the near post. Well, that was the best attack that Middlesbrough have mounted. Well, once again we saw the long-range effort. Once again we saw the inability of Bradford to make something of the rebound. Ocon. Ince. Ricard. Brilliant effort! Oh my word, what a goal by Hamilton Ricard! I said it would need something special to break the deadlock, and that was very special.
Against Derby County, a quiet first half came to life just before the break, when Boro won a penalty.
Vickers to Hamilton Ricard, marked by Riggott. Cross into the area. Oh, Boksic has gone down under the challenge of Darryl Powell, and it's a penalty. Referee Rob Stiles has pointed to the spot after Boksic was bundled over. And the Croatian has got up himself to take the spot kick. It's 1-0 Middlesbrough, who score their first penalty since the end of last season. Ince will take the free kick. Ekiog has come forward. Karambo. Ekiog! It's 2-0 Middlesbrough. Brilliant bit of control by Karambo. Nobody marking Hugo Ekiog. And the defender is delighted to have scored. Carbonari. Oh! Whoa, what a dangerous back pass. It might have been a goal. It's a corner. Off the bar! What a good header by Boksic. The corner's taken short. Boksic. Back to Fleming. Headed up by Fester. What a scramble. Won again by Festa. Shot blocked. Here's Carambeau. Festa! So close to scoring, but brilliantly set up by Carambeau, and the crowd are enjoying this. Powell. Not many options on for him. Middlesbrough stealing possession. Mustoe for Boksic. Always danger when he has the ball at his feet. Boksic comes inside the defender. Oh, it's brilliant! Doesn't he make it look easy? The Riverside on its feet to acclaim Alan Boksic. A player of real quality. You knew when he ran from the halfway line that a goal was a possibility. Beats the defender and then beats Poom at the near post. And the hero of the night, Alan Boksic, will be replaced for the final few minutes by Brian Deane. Off to great applause. Carambeau. Strongly challenged. Mustoe to Ince. Getting right into the heart of that Derby defence. Ricard, saved by Poom with his feet. Deane, dragged down, it's a penalty. In the absence of Boksic, Ricard will take the spot kick. And Ricard makes it 4-0. It's Borough's biggest win of the season, and they're unbeaten in 7 games.
Confidence was high after the biggest win of the season, and Boro arrived at Anfield aiming to extend their unbeaten run to 8 matches. Alan Boksic was again the Boro danger man.
Here's Oken. Well, it's been a lively opening half an hour in which both sides might have scored. Liverpool creating the more chances. Oh, that's wonderfully done by Boksic. And he tries to chip Westerveld. Oh, what a superb bit of play. Croatian striker who scored 4 in his last 3 games for Middlesbrough. Vickers. Ince. Here's Ekiog. Here's Boksic, there's no offside flag. Took it on his chest, great. Oh, saved by Westerveld with his knees. Babel. This is Michael Owen. Schmeitzer. Back to Schmeitzer. Owen, this time surely. Michael Owen. Oh, wonderful by Schmeitzer. Owen has it again. Driven in by Jamie Carragher. Appeals for handball are dismissed.
Boro were back on Merseyside 11 days later, when Colin Cooper was recalled to the side in favour of Gianluca Festa.
Fleming. Carambeau. Still 3 men inside the penalty area for Middlesbrough. Boksic and Ricard. Middlesbrough in front inside 11 minutes. And Hamilton Ricard, the scorer, from Carambeau's centre that was cleverly nodded across the face by Alan Boksic. It just needed a finishing touch. Graveson's kick. Ferguson! Saved on the line. And managed to guide it into the grateful arms of his own goalkeeper. It was a typical Ferguson header. And somehow Fleming managed to get in the way without using his hands. Gravison trying to play Watson in, and Gordon committed himself early. Oh, and Schwarzer lost it, and Naismith! And so vehement have Schwarzer's protests been that he's been yellow carded. Forward by Fester. Powerfully away by Ferguson. Curtis Fleming. Awkward for Mura. Ehiog got more of it. And the header has found the net from Colin Cooper. Thomas Mura, crestfallen. A speculative header. Not a great deal more, but Cooper aware that Mura was well off his line. Stranded after the challenge with Ehiog. And just long enough to weigh up the situation and loop the header beyond Richard Gough on the line. Just over 12 minutes still to play. Ferguson and Tal! Schwarzer got just enough on it. And Schwarzer spread himself. Tal once more. This time he's done it. What an introduction from Idan Tal.
At home to Man City, Boro were aiming to extend the unbeaten run to 10 matches. But there was still a long way to go to secure Premiership survival. And the Blues were shaping up as one of Boro's main rivals.
Promising opening to this contest at the wrong end of the table. Neil will take it. Ricard looking for a flick on. And blocked. Well, Nicky Weaver. Ehiog. Fleming. The fact that Ehiog has settled down well now is another factor in the many that have changed the atmosphere at the Riverside Stadium. Boksic. Great touch, Ince! Good save! It's a very good left foot strike by Ince. Not for the first time. I'm compelled to say, why doesn't he do that more often? Really struck it cleanly. Lovely piece of play by Boksic. Good save by Weaver. Tiato loves these runs. Is there a finish to it? There might be! There is! Wonderful goal. No, it's been disallowed. It's been disallowed. The linesman, assistant referee, had his flag up on the far side. Ince. Boksic. Done in the way. But again, good understanding between Boksic and Ince. Boksic again. Good play by the Croatian and a good save too. And everything has been well from number 22 so far in the match. That's a great ball if he can catch it, and Kanchelskis will. Oh, it's an own goal. Clear own goal as he tried to put it back. I could be trying to get through the rush hour crowd. Boksic, and the fact that he's coming back there to collect the ball is indicative of how the half has progressed. Now City back in numbers. This is a good run by O'Neill if he can find a finish to it, and he's done well. Off the foot of the goalkeeper, and Ricard again. Well, they had luck then, did Manchester City. Easier game to play from the stand, but Fleming called very early for that and was in space. Here's Ince. That's a great ball to O'Neill. Oh, goodness me. Superb pass by Paul Ince. 6 Boro players in the box. Cooper peels away, headed down by Ricard. Cooper! Ehiog and Ricard both battle for the ball. Ehiog with the nod down, and Cooper with the strike that actually went through Nicky Weaver, but you can't blame him. Boksic. And Grant putting himself about a bit. Boksic again, Cadenbeur. That's well spread out. Back in by Cooper. Good diving attempt by Keith O'Neill. Haaland. Jota wanted it forward early. That's a casual ball by Whitley, to whom only he would know. Oh dear, oh dear. That was not intentional. Oh, it's red card though.
In the 4th round of the FA Cup, Boro made a promising start against Wimbledon, when they almost took the lead after just 15 seconds. The First Division side hadn't even touched the ball when Hamilton Ricard teed up the chance straight from the kick-off, and Paul Ince fired narrowly wide. Ince out to impress watching England boss Sven-Göran Eriksson. But it turned out to be a frustrating evening all round. The closest either side came to a breakthrough was deep in first-half injury time, when Hugo Ekiog was denied by a goal-line save. And Alan Boksic sent his follow-up attempt against the wrong side of the post. A goalless draw meant a replay at Selhurst Park. Meanwhile, at Villa Park, Hugo Ekiog came face-to-face with his old club, for the first time since joining Boro for £8 million. He was up against former Boro man Paul Merson. Manager of the month Terry Venables, meanwhile, was out to extend Boro's unbeaten run to 12 matches. Boro already boasted the Premiership's longest run without defeat. Mark Schwarzer played a key part in establishing that record, and the Boro keeper once again made a solid start, and he kept out an early effort from Lee Hendry. Christian Carambeau had Boro's best first-half effort when he had Villa keeper David James at full stretch. Then came a breakthrough by Villa. Steve Staunton's corner picked out Steve Stone, who made it 1-0 with a well-placed header. It was Stone's first goal at Villa Park in over a year. Venables instructed the Boro players to use their heads, and that's exactly what Hugo Ekiog did in the second half. In a carbon copy of Villa's goal, the big defender got up well to make it all square, and silenced the Villa fans critical of his departure 4 months earlier. Boro were denied their chance to claim all 3 points when a powerful surge by Phil Stamp was halted by Stone. The Boro fans waited for the penalty decision, but referee Clive Wilkes ignored the appeals. A lucky escape for the home side. FA Cup prospects looked promising when Boro took the lead in the 4th round replay against Wimbledon on the stroke of half-time. Sheer determination by skipper Paul Ince opened up the Dons' defence, and Hamilton Ricard applied the finish. But the joy turned to frustration late in the game. Just seconds after young Mark Hudson replaced goalscorer Ricard, Boro conceded a dubious penalty. Hugo Ekiog singled out by referee Mike Dean as the guilty man. And Neil Ardley gratefully scored from the spot to take the time to extra time. The reprieve clearly put Wimbledon on a high, and they took the lead 6 minutes into the first period of extra time. Colin Cooper blocked the first effort from Jason Newell, but the Don striker rifled home at the second attempt to make it 2-1. After 12 unbeaten matches, Boro's run was in real jeopardy 2 minutes later. An off-the-ball incident caused the problem, and when order was finally restored, Ekiog was given his second red card of the season. That left Boro's 10 men in real trouble, and there was no way back when the Dons made it 3-1 in the final minutes. A long-range effort from sub Jonathan Hunt, ending Boro's final interest in the cup competitions. The disappointment rubbed off on Boro's league form, and the battle for Premiership survival took a turn for the worse at home to Southampton.
This is Ocon. Sliding it through for Boksic, who beats the offside. Boksic, faced by Jones, forced to turn. Boksic, off the line by Richards. Boksic. Oh, it's a brilliant chip! Back off the bar! He is a magician. This is Marsden. Tessam. Beattie. Draper! Southampton have scored. Mark Draper beating Schwarzer at the foot of the post. Ocon. Through for Ince. Oh, Ince is clattered by goalkeeper Jones. No penalty given by Neil Barry. Paul Ince can't believe it. The Middlesbrough captain is absolutely incensed. Surely it's a penalty. He's absolutely flattened. And all Ince gets for his trouble is a yellow card and not the penalty he expected. Ekiog. Time running out for Middlesbrough to get back on level terms. Karambo to Boksic. And Boksic is bundled over. Again, it's no penalty. Ocon knocks it in. Here's Ocon, surely!
Boro's first defeat at the Riverside in nearly 3 months, and the first home defeat for Terry Venables. March began at home to Charlton, and Boro found Alan Kirbishley's side another tough nut to crack. Charlton clearly had the edge in the opening 45 minutes, and Mark Schwarzer made a good early save from Sean Bartlett. But Boro came out battling in the second half and created several chances to break the deadlock. Paul Ince's determined midfield tussle setting up the first real chance for Hamilton Rickard. Terry Venables was urging his side to dig deep, and Boro turned on the pressure in the closing stages. Alan Boksic went close. A good stop by Sasa Ilic. And seconds later, Charlton was still reeling as Boro tried to find a way through. Ince finally unloading a pile driver that KO'd Richard Rufus. But Boro had to settle for a point. After 2 matches without a goal, Boro recruited Dean Windass from Bradford City to bolster the strike force. Windass, whose fee will eventually cost the club £1 million, filled the gap in Boro's squad left by Alan Armstrong earlier in the season. Boro arrived on Tyneside without a top-flight win at St James's Park since 1953, but rarely had their need for points been greater, just 2 points off the relegation zone. With new signing Windass pulling out at the last minute with a back injury, Noel Whelan was called into the starting lineup.
Ball evades Acuna. Barton! Well, Warren Barton hasn't scored in his last 105 games. This is the sort of area Solana loves to whip them in from. The likes of speed to try and hit. Schwarzer came out and got his fist to it. Lee will help it back in. Little flick on, peels for handball, and it's put in by Acuna. The offside flag is up, though it won't count. We'll take the free kick quickly. Stopped Ince talking himself into the book as well, perhaps. Boxic done brilliantly to get through Aaron Hughes and wins the free kick. The nutmeg good enough. You wonder when one of these sides will make a set piece count. I think getting closer. The last one, Newcastle had the ball in the net, but it was disallowed for offside. Can Middlesbrough go one better? Carambo it will be. Boxic attacks it and scores. Alan Boxic puts Middlesbrough ahead. His first goal in 9 games of immense significance, not just in terms of local rivalry, but in terms of the relegation battle. And it was the movement from Boxic peeling away as the free kick was taken. So simple, but it deceived Newcastle. Martin couldn't pick that up. Whelan will find Carambo. Now Whelan again, and Boxic wanted the ball played early. Whelan not alive to that, but Phil Stamp has got acres of space on the right-hand side of Ince. That's another free kick, hacked down by Caldwell. Second goal now for Middlesbrough. Would be an immense fillip in their battle against relegation. Ince, Boxic and Carambo, the 3 players over it, and it's Boxic, and it's 2! They double the lead, the same assassin as far as Newcastle are concerned, and it's a goal of frightening quality this time. Shay Gibbon was probably about a third of the goal away from it as it passed him. That is a monstrous challenge by Stamp, and he's going to be sent off. Phil Stamp will get a second yellow card, having picked up a first caution for dissent. Stamp won't even look at referee Graham Barber. 2 yellow cards for Phil Stamp. The shot comes through to Courts! Carl Court marks his comeback into the Newcastle side with a goal and starts the Newcastle fight back. Hughes, Caldwell, still Stephen Caldwell, into the feet of Court. Caldwell back towards Court again, still Court goes! It's a penalty to Newcastle. What a big moment this is for Mark Schwarzer and for Middlesbrough's season. But Solano beat him, but hit the woodwork, and it remains 2-1. What a significant moment that could be in the terms of Middlesbrough's Premiership survival. Speed. It's a priceless away victory for Middlesbrough. It's Middlesbrough that are celebrating, and that penalty miss from Solano could end up being the difference between them staying up and going down.
Dean Windass finally made his debut at Stamford Bridge, but it's Gianfranco Zola who drew first blood for Chelsea. Boro undone by a slick move and an exquisite finish 10 minutes before half-time. Windass did make his mark early in the second half. Carambo with the cross, and the big striker stole in to head home. A goal he clearly enjoyed. But Boro's joy was short-lived, and the winning goal was self-inflicted. An under-hit back pass left Mark Schwarzer exposed, and Ida Gudjonsson clinically accepted the gift. A cool finish leaving Boro beaten. With Boro still fighting for survival and Sunderland aiming for Europe, there was more than ever at stake in the final local derby of the season. Dean Windass was making his home debut, hoping to forge a potent strike force with leading marksman Alan Boxic. But it was Sunderland who made the more threatening start.
Well, it's a local derby, 25 miles apart, these clubs. The points are important. Hutchinson's shot is quick, and Schwarzer reacted splendidly to keep that out.
Boro were unsettled when Gianluca Festa was stretchered off early on after an awkward fall. Terry Venables had to reorganise, and it was late in the first half before Boro finally started to exert some pressure.
Winos was going to a great position, good save. Keeper slipped, Dean Gordon knocks it back in, keeper's on the ground, Boxic is there, and still there. Musto goes in, comes back out to Carambo. Take the heel out of it slightly, but Whelan finds Gordon. And the cross is good.
Oh, it's amazing that the scoreline is still 0-0 when you have a look at some of the chances that we've witnessed here this evening.
Musto, good effort, keeper couldn't hold it. Well, of all the people on this pitch that you would have expected to score in that situation, he would surely be number one. Campbell. He's made a great run again here. And once again, the crowd were on their feet thinking that that had gone into the back of the net. It was the side again. Ricard in a great position again here, and this time Boksic in support. Is this going to be the breakthrough? Very nearly.
Venables' tactical changes had turned the tables in dramatic fashion, but the chance of victory ended in frustration when Christian Carambo was sent off after his second yellow card of the match. With 6 matches left, Boro badly needed points to stay out of the relegation zone. Coventry were just 2 points behind, and Man City a further 3. But Boro hadn't won at Highbury since 1939.
This is Garnu. Ljungberg to the left. They're appealing for offside. The flag stays down. Henry's waiting in the centre. This is Edu to Vieira. And now Garnu, surely! Good save by Schwarzer. Just got something on it. Got to give the goalkeeper credit. Garnu's disappointed. It was a good chance, but Schwarzer just got something there to prevent the goal. Well, it's so far so good for Middlesbrough here. This is Ricard. Adams header back. He could get even better if Windass hits this correctly. Oh, it's deflected. It's a goal. Middlesbrough in front. Dean Windass with the shot. There was a deflection on it that deceived Seaman. The ball played across the 18-yard line off Tony Adams' head. Windass, it sat up quite nicely for him, and that's come off Edu, I think, into the corner. This is Boksic. Ince. Gordon. Whipped across. Oh, it's an own goal this time. Silvinho. It's 2-0 Middlesbrough. Well, Arsenal didn't bargain for this. That's definitely an own goal. Whatever you called the first one. But David Seaman must be wondering what's happening back there in front of him. Oh, here's another one, Boksic. And he looked round as Silvinho knocked him over. The travelling Middlesbrough fans, however optimistic they were when they came down to London, couldn't really have expected to be in this position. And Terry Venables and Brian Robson here can see some daylight. That's Gavin for Middlesbrough. On to Ricard. Oh, that's Windass! Good save by Seaman. We could have had a third goal there in the opening seconds of the second half from Dean Windass. He struck it well. You might wonder about the gloves, but it has been bitterly cold in London today. Windass. Backing up here again. And sliding into Boksic, that's a good touch, and here comes Ricard! It's 3-0! Extraordinary events at Highbury. A brilliant touch by Alain Boksic in the build-up, and Ricard, who had that scoring record against Arsenal last season, gets another one here today. 58 minutes gone, Arsenal 0, Middlesbrough 3. Watch the touch here from Alain Boksic. It's Windass's original pass, that's brilliant. The back heel has fooled Tony Adams, and the left foot shot taken early by Ricard makes it 3. Lovely touch from Boksic, and Ricard just hit it in stride. parlour. Well, I wonder when the Championship was last settled, if ever, in almost complete silence. This is Silvino. It's a fairly spooky feeling. But there's a chance for Arsenal to get one back, and a good save by Mark Schwarzer. Inevitably, it was Tony Adams who had the header. Good cross by Silvino. Well, he could have probably done better to have had a shot. This is Silvino again. And turned over from Kanu. Schwarzer really responding here in the last few minutes. Musto. This is Karen Burr. It's a good turn inside Adams. Silvino tries to stop him. Is this... Oh, it should have been 4. Dean Windass. Well, that was probably the best chance of the game. in the 94th minute, it's Christian Karen Burr who comes inside 2 Arsenal players. Silvino helps it on its way. And from near the penalty spot, Windass contrives to put that over the top. And on that note, the whistle of the referee signals that Manchester United have won the league championship for the 7th time in 9 seasons in somewhat curious circumstances, which should not overlook the fact that Terry Venables has inspired Middlesbrough to possibly hear their best result of the season.
On Easter Monday, former striker Alan Armstrong came back to haunt Boro 4 months after being discarded in an £800,000 deal. It all went wrong for Boro despite taking an early lead.
And Windass is onside and scores! Hamilton Ricard was standing in an offside position, but he was not interfering with play. Steve Bennett allowed Dean Windass to go on, and that is his 2nd goal for Middlesbrough. And it could be the difference between a very nervous last month in the Premiership and a pretty relaxed end of season. Didn't he take it well, Dean Windass? And some Easter so far. Martin Reusser. Oh, good save by Schwarzer. Always looked likely that Reusser was going to go for goal. It was a very good fist by Mark Schwarzer. So Middlesbrough just 45 minutes away from a perfect Easter, 6 points out of 6, but here's Armstrong! Oh my goodness me! 12 seconds into the 2nd half, Alan Armstrong against his former club has levelled it at 1 each. Ince. Carambo. Misunderstanding with Gavin, and that's allowed Jim Magilton to nick in for Ipswich. Here's Marcus Stewart, a little short-handed in the middle, but Armstrong again! Alan Armstrong with 2 goals in 4.5 minutes against his former club is in Wonderland.
5 days later, there was sad news off the pitch. Stephen Bell, Boro's youngest ever player, had died at the age of 36. Bell, who made his debut at the tender age of 16, made his mark for Boro in the early 80s. Black armbands were worn at Filbert Street, and Boro marked the occasion by keeping alive their own survival hopes.
That's threaded through for Ince. Fumbled away by the goalkeeper Simon Royce. It'll be a corner. Deputising for Tim Flowers. Gordon plays it in. Ricard! Middlesbrough take the lead after 12 minutes. Hamilton Ricard heading in from the edge of the 6-yard box. Delaney's shot. Oh, back off the bar. Akibaye! Oh dear, how did he head that over from that position? Should have scored. Cause for thought for Terry Venables. An anxious look at the watch. Here's Boksic, claiming possession in his own half. Checked to see who was near him, and the answer was nobody. Still Boksic, chips. Oh, that's fantastic! A brilliant, brilliant goal from the Croatian. Chipping Simon Royce. And now he looks happier. Gordon will take the corner. That was a miscue. Ince! Buried by Middlesbrough's captain. It's 3-0. And just the result that Middlesbrough need.
The penultimate home match was against the champions. With the title already in the bag, Sir Alex Ferguson made a few changes. But that didn't help Boro's survival hopes.
Neville. Well, he might just strike it here. Oh, I say! Again towards Boksic. He won the header. Windass. Just whistle wide, and this one needed the white gloves of the Dutchman to prevent the equaliser. And it was a terrific block. And going for goal and hitting the post and going in, yes! No, the flag's gone up. The effort from Gavin hit the woodwork, the flag went up. Big, big moment, maybe of Middlesbrough's season. It was a phenomenal effort by Gavin. Giggs. Can United wrap it up? Beckham. David Beckham! 2-0. A first club goal in the year 2001 for David Beckham.
Boro arrived at Valley Parade needing a victory to make absolutely certain of staying in the Premiership. Bradford were already condemned to return to the Nationwide. For Dean Windass, there was a mixed reception on his first return to his former club.
It's going to be a nervous afternoon for Middlesbrough players and supporters alike as news filters through of the Coventry score at Villa Park. Here's Ekiog well forward. It was an easy enough save though for Gary Walsh. Despite the fact that they are already relegated, Bradford will be anxious to try and record a win here. This is a good run by Lawrence. Might have given a free kick, the referee. Toe poked on Jacobs. Referee allowed the advantage, and Wayne Jacobs has opened the scoring for Bradford. Played wide by Brian Dean. Here's Windass. Headed over. Wouldn't he have liked to score against his old club? Maybe he should have. Well, it's a worrying time for the management. Punched away by Walsh. Carambo! Off the line by Gunnar Halle. Well, Gary Walsh didn't get any real distance with the one-handed punch, and the Frenchman struck it really well. Still Middlesbrough trailing by 1-0. Oh, and it's an excellent shot by Marinelli, just on as a substitute. Crowded penalty area for the corner. Carambo. Oh, it's a fizzer! It's 1-1! Carambo delivers with 9 minutes left. A vital goal for Middlesbrough's future. It's a nail-biting finish to the season for Middlesbrough supporters. And when all is done and dusted, how vital might that goal prove to be? One touch to control it, and a perfect strike. It was unstoppable. Will a draw ultimately be enough? Here's Brian Deane, makes a chance! Hits it wide of that top corner. Well, he'd done really well to make himself a sight of Bradford's goal. The points are shared. It's 1 goal apiece.
With Coventry losing against Villa, it was now a straight contest between Boro and Man City to avoid the final relegation slot. But the outcome was decided without Boro kicking a ball, when City failed to win their penultimate match at Portman Road. Despite taking the lead, Joe Royle's team were condemned by 2 late goals. Martin Reusser applying the final blow that gave Ipswich a dramatic 2-1 win. With Boro's Premiership place guaranteed, that meant a carnival atmosphere at the Riverside on the final day of the season. Headbands were worn in aid of a cancer charity when the players emerged to a rousing reception from the Boro fans. In the starting lineup for the first time since before Christmas were the popular Argentinian Carlos Marinelli and Joseph Desiree Jobe, who hadn't featured in the starting lineup since November. On a more sombre note, there was a minute's silence for 2 former Boro players. Stephen Bell's recent death had been followed by the sad loss of former Scottish international Bobby Murdoch. Murdoch, a Boro star in the 70s, also had a spell as manager in the early 80s.
Having avoided relegation, Middlesbrough able to enjoy the last game of the season. Canuti for West Ham. Here's Chodorov. Scott Minto! Sharp save by Schwarzer. West Ham with the first threat. Terry Venables considering his notes. How different might this game have been if Middlesbrough needed to win it to stay in the Premiership. Forward by Ince. Jobe! Oh yes! Middlesbrough take the lead after 21 minutes. Ince threading it through for the Cameroon international, who still had work to do when he'd beaten Hislop. Stuart Pearce, the defender who got back on the goal line. Canuti. West Ham still managing to look threatening. Here's Todorov! It's 1-1. West Ham equalise within 9 minutes. It's the West Ham supporters who are in full voice at the moment. Todorov, the Bulgarian, to Joe Cole. Todorov wriggling through, tees up Canuti, who brings another sharp save from Schwarzer. Canuti looks very lively. Came off the head of Pearce. Here's Carambeau, he's made half a chance for himself. Oh, Carambeau! Didn't he strike it well? The defender was getting across to block his view of goal, but he hit it very early. 2-1. And Terry Venables looking a little happier. Here's Carambeau. Good deep cross. Here's Jobe. Puts the header wide. No, there was a touch from the keeper. It'll be a corner. Brian Deane. Ince! Turned away by Shaka Hislop. Oaken. Jobe with the header! Oh! Flashing just wide of the post with Hislop beaten. It's a winning end to the season for Middlesbrough by 2-1. It's a winning end for Terry Venables. Relegation has been avoided, and the Riverside is grateful for that. Terry Venables enjoying the applause and the appreciation of the crowd. Where will he be next season?
A look at the final table confirms that Boro finished in 14th place, 8 points ahead of the relegation zone. A great achievement for a side that looked doomed on rock bottom just before the season's midway point. Had the season started in December, Boro could have been battling for a place in Europe. One sad footnote to the season, the death of coach John Pickering at the age of 56 after a long illness. Pickering, who joined the coaching staff in 1991, had worked with the first team for most of the 90s, including a spell as caretaker boss. It's been a season of mixed emotions for Boro fans, but the everlasting memory will be one of triumphant achievement for Terry Venables, who masterminded the Great Escape. We leave you with Tell's final thoughts on the mission accomplished.
But before you arrived, Boro couldn't stop losing. How important was it to get that first win under your belt?
It was very important, because if you start doing things that is maybe slightly different to what they've done before, maybe a lot different, and you want them to believe in what you're doing, you always need some success with that. And then they think, well, yeah, you know, this could be all right for us. And if you don't, it's that much harder. And we needed immediate results. If we'd have gone 3 or 4 games without a result, I think it may have been too late.
You changed things around without changing all the personnel. What is it that makes the Venables style of coaching so effective?
Oh, I think it's you know, people ask me that, and it's about a lot of people all pulling in the same direction. Because all people, I think, but I mean, I've been a footballer. Footballers, you know, we sometimes look for excuses. We've got to accept that. And so if that's the case, and we all did it, you've got to remove those. Remove the excuses and say, well, now what about you? You know, what are you going to do? Like, there's nothing, you know, it's a nice day now, and the pitch is nice, and it's not bumpy, and, you know, now it's up to you. Come on, let's play. So that's important. But everyone really is pulled in the right direction, and have had a great desire to succeed.
In the final countdown, you got some outstanding away results at Newcastle, Arsenal, Leicester. Why do you think you got your best results away from the Riverside?
Well, you know, I've praised the supporters, and that wasn't, you know, people then say, oh, well, what you're saying is the home supporters not very good. And that's not the case. The case was they were unbelievable. I mean, I remember going to Newcastle and said, you won't hear them because they're right up in somewhere or other. And right from the beginning, I mean, it was just amazing.
When you do leave Middlesbrough, how do you want to be remembered at the club?
Teesside Tell.